Tracy here. Welcome to Front Row Promotions. How are you? How is everyone out there? Welcome to the show. We have Klaus from Ugly Kid Joe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're
Glad to be here.
welcome. You're welcome. I know we had some communication complications with the StreamYard. It always goes out that way. And whenever you try to go live, something always goes crazy. A lot of times my internet wants to act
Yeah.
up, and
Yeah.
I had in between the
We,
show the guest was carrying it out, so thank you for
well,
understanding.
with all the advances in technology, sometimes it seems like we have more trouble now. It's
Absolutely,
like,
it's just crazy like that, isn't it? And so tell me about you. Tell me about Ugly Kid Joe.
um,
Where did that name come from?
oh, that came from we were at that moment we were actually nameless. We had just the band had pretty much just you know formed, and then we got a call from a promoter or booking. I don't know what exactly it was. He worked at a club in town here in Santa Barbara,
Right.
California, and he called us and said, "Hey, there's a national act. Remember that whole thing, national act, coming through. They're called Pretty Boy Floyd. They're from LA, which is only 90 miles from here. But the fact that they were a national act got us excited, and we need an opening act for that. Would you guys want to do it? Yeah, we'd love to do it. What's your name?" And we're like, oh, we don't really have a name. Well, you better find a name by tomorrow because we have to put it up on the marquee and on the in the ads and stuff. So we got off the phone and we're like, oh God, we got to come up with a name literally like right now. And
Oh,
as a
okay.
joke, I said, well, let's just do something stupid like the Ugly Kid Joe opening for Pretty Boy Floyd. And
I
we're
love
like,
it.
okay, that'll be funny. And we thought it'd be cool on the marquee. And so we called them right back and did that. And we didn't even think it was going to be the name of the band.
Wow.
It was just for the show.
I love it. Yeah, Ugly Kid Joe. It does have a good ring to it. It has like a
Yeah,
nice
it kind of
pop.
had a nice ring. Yeah, and we definitely didn't have trouble copywriting it because no one had ever used that before.
Like who's going to use that name, right? Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so I got it. But no, and it's been your name for how many years now?
God, I mean, that was 1990, so 32 years.
Wow. That's
Mhm.
awesome. That's absolutely
Yeah, 1990.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, my favorite song of you guys is Everything About You. I love the I know you're from California and you're out
Uh-huh.
there in the snow, in the sand. I was going to say
Mhm.
snow. It's snowing
Yeah.
here. But yeah, I get tongue twisted sometimes. You have to forgive me.
No
Um,
worries.
but but yeah, out there in the sand and the sun and everything, it bouncing around. I love doing that. My toes in the sand. I just wish I could do
Yeah.
more of it. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Now you have a few new videos out.
Yeah. What we did is for the new record that we are releasing, I think in a couple of days here, 21st. Um,
Oh, nice.
it was during COVID actually, so we'd had this idea like, well, if we're gonna do, we had to pick a song to do a video, and it was like talking to the guy who's a video director said, why don't we just do because the video director's like, we're not going to all get together. This was right during COVID, so if everybody could just use their iPhones, set up a green screen or even just a white wall and
Okay.
just play your guitar or your instrument, whatever, drums, guitar, if you guys can all just do that. And I think at the time we were sort of not really knowing which songs we'd do a video for, and it's like, let's just do them all. I mean, the guy's like, how much extra would it be if we just did 8 videos? At that time there was only 8 songs, and it wasn't much more. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to dump it all in the thing and I'll mess with them, and they're all. And so let's just do them all. So everybody just went home, pressed play, and just air guitared and air sang and whatever, air drummed to the 8 songs. And that's pretty much what it was. Basically each one of us totally different parts of the world. I think Whit was in Costa Rica, Dave was in Florida, I was in California, so we were all over the place. With
Wow.
went on Amazon, just bought a green screen like maybe 6 feet by 8 feet or something, and it's got like clips,
Right.
and you just clip it onto the wall, and you press, you just go for it, and we send it all in, and that's pretty much how the videos were done for this record, I should say.
That's amazing. That's pretty cool. No, what video is the one that you are talking referring to?
We actually did. Like I said, we did one for every song. Right now, the latest one was "Failure." The
A
first one
failure, yeah.
was "That Ain't Living," and we've released. What was the other ones we've released? I think "Kill the Pain," and what was the other one we released? Oh, yeah, "Long Road." They're all a little. Obviously, they're different. The guy added a bunch of stuff to them, and someone was making a comment. I guess when people comment on YouTube, it was like, "Hey, they're wearing the same outfit in every video."
Oh no! So somebody
We're
noticed
like,
it, huh?
"Oh shit, that's right. We should have maybe thought about that and had 4 T-shirts and
Oh,
Although
like different change up.
in
Yeah.
Whit's case, he wears the same shirt every show. So,
Got you. Oh.
and I wear
Oh.
the same socks, and I'm like, oh, I should have changed up the sock, man, because I have 4 pairs of different socks, and I should have changed it up. But
I got you.
hindsight is always 20/20, right?
Yes, I see. Yeah, but so you did all the videos of during COVID, and
Yeah.
then they just come out. Yeah. So yeah, we were just watching. I played a few of the videos. I played Failure, and then we went back to the ones we saw. Neighbors. That's a really cool one. You have some really cool music. Yeah, and the videos just are awesome. A lot of work
Yeah,
put
Neighbor
into
was a
it.
fun video to do. That was a real big. That was one of our biggest productions, you could say, where we actually had, SNL character come on. Pat, the character from SNL, Julia Sweeney came on. So that was kind of ooh, we got real Hollywood people
Some
involved,
people's. Yeah.
they had a whole crew in this cul-de-sac in Colorado, with catering, and it was kind of fun. It was really one of the most professional things we've ever done in terms of making a video and almost like a little movie. It was fun. Had the guy in the video was in the Terminator. I don't know if you remember the movie, the original Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah,
He's the landlord of that that crappy little hotel that he's staying at, and he says something at the door he smells like something died in there. And he's wearing the wife beater that's all dirty, and he's kind of scruffy. And we were like, that's the neighbor. We were literally sitting around watching that movie in a hotel room, and I remember Dave Fortman vividly said, we got to get that guy to be the neighbor. And we literally called him the next day. And
okay.
It was so funny because Tom Mignon, who did the video, sorry, I'm making this short story long, but it's kind of funny. Right. Is he said he went to, I guess, visit the guy or talk to him about doing this character. And he had a closet, and I'm kid you not, he had a closet of a bunch of wife beaters, hanging. That's his character. And he was ready to go.
That's what he wears. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not wearing the same shirt. He just has a bunch of them, but the same thing. I love it. Yeah. I actually love those tank tops better than some of the ladies wear because they stretch better.
Yeah, they're comfortable. I mean, they're undershirts, really.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's so cool. Would you like to? I would play a video. I can play the one that you were just mentioning.
Where am I? There.
Okay. What one would you like to? We'll play a new one. Oops, where is it? Here it is. We'll play Failure. I'm going to turn the screen so it can play loud, and everybody will see what you've done, what you do. Okay. And here we go. We might have a commercial to start off with. I apologize.
You might be asking yourself, can you actually create high-quality live streams?
There we go. Ugly Kid Show, everyone. I like it. I love it. It's pretty cool.
I'll practice it because we're going to play it on tour. So.
I love it. All right. Let's see.
Ooh, it's hot in here.
Round. I first want to mention to Facebook that we have permission. We have the musician that says it's okay to play his music. Thank you
Go for it.
very much. I know that if they block my stuff, they'll like, they'll cut it down, and I'm like, no, we have permission. Thank you, Facebook, and thank you, Klaus.
No worries. Thank you.
You're welcome. So about that song about failure, what's going on there?
Well, if you really think about it, most relationships fail.
Yeah.
If you you do the statistics,
yeah.
you do it. Otherwise, everybody be married happily ever after with their first boyfriend or girlfriend or significant other. So
yeah,
that's kind of what it's about,
I get it. Yeah, I've
else
had
is there
some
to
really
say?
that went that way and went south, and then that's how I felt a lot of times. And I was like, "What is it? What's going on? Am I a failure? What's going on?" And I needed that song a little while ago, but yeah, that's what kind of makes you feel. Yeah, and that does touch the feelings on that one.
Yeah, I guess it's not the most positive message, but it's also, it's reality. Everybody fails at things in life, and we should beat ourselves up about it. Really, I mean,
right.
if anything, learn from it and try to, move on from it and maybe see the humor in it. Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
So yeah.
But true, yeah. Just try to make the positive.
This doesn't happen again. What time is it right now? Okay. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, one of the things I think everybody should learn is that you can't beat yourself up every time you do something wrong or you fail at something.
Very
the
true.
song's more tongue in cheek and sarcastic, but
Yeah.
in life, like everybody's gonna fail. I mean, even like who were we talking about? Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. And
Yes.
he's not playing great right now. I mean, he's had a few bad games because he's in our fantasy team, and we're like, no, we're not putting him in. But even he, even the almost invincible, greatest of all time GOAT, without even a question, is not going to have great days. And
exactly.
So,
yeah.
But that song wasn't written about Tom Brady. Trust me.
I get you. I know a lot of times it's but I like it. It has a peppy, bouncy. That's what I love about Ugly Killed Joe, because it has that pep and that bounce. It makes I like to dance when I go out, and it just makes me want to do that dance kind of thing. So
Good,
yeah,
good. That's good to hear. Yeah, we do like to when we play live, it's we usually do pick the songs that have a little bit of that groove and the bounce to them, like you said, because it's
exactly.
fun. It's just, we break it down sometimes, but then it's always fun to just bring it right back up.
Exactly. So what's that feeling like when you're out there on the stage and you have a crowd of all the people coming to see you? What's that feeling like being on stage playing to all these millions of people?
Okay, first of all, it's not millions. it can be dozens, and then it can be
dozens. I'll
10,000.
take it. All right.
It could be hundreds of thousands. Yes, we've been there too. So
Okay.
never millions though, but no, it's I know what you're saying. No, it's fantastic. It's amazing what adrenaline can do. It's a you don't think about it much until actually in the moment. Like for instance, you'll be sick. Let's say you'll have a really bad cold, or just whatever. You're like hurting. You're backstage and you're like, oh my God, how are we going to pull this off? How am I going to pull this off playing tonight? And you drink some water, you blow your nose, and as soon as you hit the stage, the adrenaline rush is so incredible that all of a sudden you're not sick anymore for that hour and a half or hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes. You almost don't feel sick. Your nose isn't running anymore. You're playing as if nothing. And then it's weird. It's like your body just kicks into a different gear, and it's probably some kind of a fight or flight thing where it's a survival mode, and your body goes, look, you have to do this now. You when you're done, but you got to do this now, and you feel really good for that hour and a half. So that in itself kind of explains how great it can feel, even when you're not sick. It can take you to another kind of a high, I guess you could say. I mean,
right,
where it's amazing, and even after this many years, now that we're in our 50s, that you still get that adrenaline rush is pretty cool. And
that's amazing.
So yeah, it's a privilege to be able to do it. You dream about it as a kid when you're practicing in your room, practicing guitar, and you're watching videos of your heroes playing in front of crowds, and that's sort of like the ultimate icing on the cake. What you really want is you want to make music, or at least for me, I wanted to create music and have it like be recorded on a record and people to buy it or hear it on the radio. And then the ultimate icing is to be able to play it in front of a crowd. And and obviously to play it in front of a club was good enough for me, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
But to play it in front of 100,000 people in at like a festival is over. It's actually almost kind of like surreal, because you only see the first few rows, and then it just kind of becomes this blur, but it's there. So yeah,
right.
it's a really, really cool feeling, and I'm really lucky that I got to do it not just once, but a bunch of times, and in two kind of chunks. We did it early in the 90s when we kind of hit with a big hit and got to do it worldwide. Within like 3 years, we'd hit every country, like every major city in the Western world and South America and places like Australia and Japan. And then
nice
doing it again now for the last 10 years on and off. We go do some really amazing tours. And so, yeah, and very blessed, and it's a lot of fun.
That's amazing. I know that feeling with that adrenaline rush. It's like everything just goes when you're on that
Yeah,
stage and you're out
yeah.
there and you're in another world. It's like
Mhm,
another
mhm,
time frame of
mhm.
where you are. And that's like that's your passion and that's what you want to do. And I love that. Awesome. Awesome. So what is who or what inspired you to become a musician, easy for me to
Oh,
say.
that yeah, I was taking my no, a good friend in like I think I was 10 years old played piano, and I just thought that was really impressive that he could
Mhm.
just sit at the piano and start to play. And I was jealous. I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool. I want to be able to do that." So I asked my parents, "Can I take piano lessons?" And they're like, "Yes, please." You know,
Aw.
you're actually asking. So they got me piano lessons, and I started learning, and I got really bored after like a
Mm.
couple years, like really bored with piano. And I started listening to rock. I started getting into rock music as a fan, and just being around my sister, who's a year older. She was turning me on to all this rock, and we had like Led Zeppelin and AC/DC records, and I was like, man, but none of the bands I like have keyboards. So I'm like, I
Aw.
come on. And then I was, at my friend's house, and his older brother played guitar. He had a Les Paul and a Marshall amp in his bedroom, and he could play Eruption by Eddie Van Halen. And I remember walking by his bedroom, like as I was walking to my friend's room, and I just stopped because I heard this noise, and I looked and I opened the door, and there he was with a Les Paul Gold Top, just shredding. And then it was just over. I was like, no, 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 fuck the piano. I want to do that. Like that's insane. And from that day forward, I kept going to visit my friend, but I ended up in his brother's room almost every day for most of the
Aw.
time because I was obsessed with what he did there in that room with that guitar. And he basically started teaching me. And next thing I got a guitar, and he was like my first sort of teacher. So he was my inspiration really. And through him, because of, his inspiration was Eddie Van Halen, and he was basically like, get this record, Van Halen 1, learn this, like this is the Bible. And I was like, yes. And
Oh,
so
that's
Eddie,
so
in a
cool.
way, through him, Eddie Van Halen was probably my biggest, um, me and like a zillion other dudes in my generation, guys and girls in my generation that play guitar, were all idolizing Eddie, I'm sure. I mean, there's
Oh
just no
yeah.
one even comes close, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
That
Jimi Hendrix
eruption
before
song,
him, and then,
yeah,
yeah,
that eruption song is
yeah,
killer. I just,
yeah,
oh my Lord, I could just watch that over and over again of how he
no
played
doubt.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you say, you were Jimi Hendrix, you were starting to say?
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix, I think was one of those moments in rock guitar history where he changed the game, and then it
Yes.
was Eddie. Like Jimmy took it to a level, and then Eddie took it to even the higher level that
Higher
I
level.
don't think has been surpassed to this day. And that was
Right.
1978. So we're looking at, what is that, like
Time.
45 years ago or something?
Yeah. Oh my
17,
gosh.
88,
Yeah.
99, 2000. Yeah, it's like 40. I don't do math right now, but yeah,
Yes. Me too.
you still listen to Eruption, and it's still like pretty cutting edge guitar playing where you're just like, dang, not just the
Wow.
playing, but the sound, the tone, and some of the I guess you could say the pyrotechnics as they call it. No one really has taken it much further. Let's just put it that way. And if they
Right.
did, he inspired them.
Yes, he was in a class of all of his own of what he
Yeah.
can do, what he did, and it's just amazing. Yeah, I have a friend named Alex T. White, and he used to be in the 80s tribute band, and
Mhm.
everybody loved it when he was up there. And he would
Yeah.
do like what Eddie Van Halen does with the hands and all over, throw the guitar around. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I'm telling you, and I always told him he would be the next Eddie Van Halen. So of today, and he's much
Yeah.
younger than I am, and he's in his 20s, and I'm like,
Oh,
wow.
nice, nice, nice.
I
Yeah.
love it when the younger generation loves our generation.
Yes. And that's been cool too, because we have had young people at some of our shows, and we're kind of like, wait, did your parents bring you? What's going on? Like, no, we found you guys on YouTube because we liked such and such a band. And then in YouTube, it does that thing. If you like, they automatically, it's kind of a cool networking way for kids to find new music, because it's not what's on the radio. It's what they sort of they can gravitate more towards what they like. And the next thing you know, they're listening to Megadeth and Anthrax
Yeah,
which are technically older bands, from the
absolutely.
80s, really. My heyday was probably like the late 80s for a lot of these bands. But they're such great bands that, the kids will find them and then go, wow, they're still together and they're touring. And that's what they said about it. Like, oh, we saw you guys. We liked like Guns N' Roses, and we liked Van Halen or AC/DC. And so you guys popped up and we're like, oh, we like them too. I wonder if oh shit, they're touring and they're on, that's one of we talked about technology earlier being kind of a pain sometimes, but
Yeah,
for the most part, it's great, until you have technical difficulties. But
yeah.
it's kind of cool that kids, we used to have record stores and they don't really have that anymore. At least I haven't seen a real true record store in a long time. I don't even know if there is one in my town, but we used to go to record stores and you'd talk to people that work there, and you'd look for the girl with like the blue hair and the nose ring, or the dude with the leather
Yeah,
jacket. Like, I'll ask them what's cool. Like, what's
yeah,
the new band
exactly.
from?
They'll know right
At the
where to
time, it was
go.
always what's the new band from like L.A., Hollywood, and I remember
Right,
that was the question, because that was the scene in the 80s.
right. I remember we had the place called the Record Bar, and
Yeah,
sometimes they would
great name.
have like in store interviews with major bands. I remember I saw Faster Pussycat,
Oh
and
yeah,
everybody, I'm like recording. I had back in the day with the 80s, we had those big
yeah,
hunker
big old
cameras, and
camcorder.
you had a video. And those were the days. Let me tell you, that's the best time frame ever. Is the 80s.
80s ruled
It
for
sure
sure.
does. I'm telling you, just so cool. So, what is your favorite, like most favorite place that you played, or that maybe you want to play?
I would love to play Argentina. My mom's from Argentina. I was born and raised there,
Wow,
and I
nice.
I got this. There's a live video of AC/DC playing River Plate, which is a soccer stadium in Buenos Aires, Argentina,
Oh,
and it's
nice.
the most insane crowd I've ever seen.
Aw,
And it's a great show as well. I mean, it's AC/DC, like, just ruling it. And I had always heard that. Like, we've played Brazil and it was insane. So that might be the best place we have played.
nice.
So Brazil was ridiculous. Sao Paulo and Rio were just insane. And we
Oh,
played these huge festivals there in the 90s, and it blew our mind. I mean, it was like a stadium full of people singing every song. It was so great, and such a great fan. Like, the mood, like we were talking about, you talking about bouncing. It was bouncing. The
it was
whole freaking stadium
bouncing.
was moving and swaying and bouncing, and shirts being, spun around. And so,
Woo! Yeah.
having had that taste of that real Latin crowd, awesome. And then
Oh,
everybody always told me, like, Argentina is even like gnarlier. Like, it's even like a step even more insane. And then I saw that River Plate at AC/DC, and I was like, oh man, I hope one day we could play there. We haven't, but maybe one day.
that's so cool. That's so cool. I would love to go to one of those states or places,
Yeah,
to see that, take it all in and all of
yeah.
that, and see what you're saying, be there live.
Mhm.
So,
I mean,
absolutely.
you
So,
watch the soccer games, you'll probably, I don't know, you've heard about those soccer stadium crowds. They sing the whole game. And
wow.
so
Mark,
if they do that during a sporting event, imagine
yeah,
what they're doing during an actual rock concert. They are really
yeah, if they're
singing.
going to sing through
Yeah,
the whole sporting
yeah,
event, I can
yeah,
imagine. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Oh, wow. So, are you guys on tour now, or is there
We're
plans for a tour?
we're going in about a week. We're going to the UK, the United Kingdom,
Oh,
and we're playing
sweet.
all over
Yeah.
England. And I think we're doing one or two shows, maybe in Scotland or Ireland or something. I don't know. And so we're there for a couple weeks, and then we
Awesome.
are in. Hopefully, we'll be able to come do a States tour
I would
next year,
love that.
like
Yes.
mid next year, maybe early summer, something like that. That's what we're talking about. And we're definitely going back to Europe at the end of next summer. We
Okay.
just got a festival that we are playing, so we're gonna hopefully do a whole tour right around
That
that.
sounds
And
good.
yeah,
Awesome.
so we're
Well,
excited.
I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, so I need to
Yeah,
see you guys live. Yes. Definitely
Hammerjack.
need to see
Is Hammerjack
Hammerjacks.
still there? Yeah,
Well,
legend.
no, it
No,
is, but it isn't. Not the one that they
yeah,
had before. They
yeah.
tore down,
Okay,
and because of the big football stadium, and they
right,
used it for the parking lot, they were
right.
holding really good for the longest time to
I
not tear
know
it
that place was absolutely legendary
down. It
in the rock
was
and roll world.
So they tore that down. Then they made a new one at another location. That didn't go over too well. And
Right.
then they were works on getting another one built, but that just didn't go. They have like a mini one somewhere, like an outdoors type concert thing,
Right.
like
Right.
tailgate and party kind of thing, but I've never been to it. But it'll never be any Hammerjacks like it was back in the day.
Well, we
Concert
experienced it.
side and the rock and roll side, the dance side. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The place is legendary.
Yeah. But so who have you collaborated with, or who would you like to collaborate with? And
Well, Rob Halford from Judas Priest sang on our Rob Halford sang on one of our records. Lemmy sang on a record.
nice.
Yeah, so we've had two of our biggest heroes and idols collaborate with us. So that, and who would I like to? Oh gosh, that's tough. I mean, there's so many. You know, I'm trying to think off the hand. You know, like I'm going to say Rihanna.
Okay. That's yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's great. I love the mixtures of music. I
Yeah,
love
me too.
all blends, all types. Yep. All kind. Yeah. Like how like it was like Run DMC with Aerosmith. That had a cool mixture.
Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
We even had one of the a hip hop band called the Ghetto Boys from Houston, Texas. They're like,
Okay.
I guess you'd call it gangster rap. I don't know exactly what they were classified as, but one of the, I think Scarface from that hip hop group came on stage, and we did like a jam with him. So that was really cool too, because that was a mixture of rap and metal, and I was always kind of a fan of that. All those kind of, like you said, the mixtures. Like, well, there you had it. Run DMC Aerosmith was the original like rock rap mix,
Yeah. So
Classic moment.
what are they what you were talking about was the Ghetto Boys? I'll have to pull it up.
Yeah, the Ghetto Boys.
Look at that later. Yeah,
they're
the
like,
Ghetto Boys.
yeah.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to go to the board. There's a couple comments and questions.
Okay.
Let's see here. My friend Trina Black, she said woohoo, and then hey, and then sometimes I can't see who leaves a message. Someone said very nice, and then okay, Innocence Music said facts, but never beat yourself up for unpopular choices. Keep it moving. Great song, not a bad message at all. If anything, it reminds people to work with what they got to better a relationship situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, some more is coming. I wish I had a touch. I was getting ready to do my touch screen because I'm on my phone a lot, but my computer was supposed to be touch screen, but it's not. Okay, here we go. And then, she mentioned to come out to play M3. Have you ever thought about playing M3? It's a
What's M3?
Yeah, it's the festival.
Oh, it's a festival.
Yeah, the festival we have here in Columbia, Maryland, called Merriweather
Nice.
Post Pavilion. Yeah, and that they're related to. They do a lot of the '80s bands.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard of it. Yeah. No, we'd love to. Yeah. So
that would be amazing to get
now
you
that
guys
it's in
there.
my brain, yeah, we'll try to do
Put that on your things to do list.
Totally.
Yes. And then she said, yes, Rob and Lemmy. She was commenting on your comment.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you guys did the best Sabbath for the NIB compilation.
Oh, yeah, the tribute
album. And yeah, absolutely. I have to say, I love the song that you guys did for the Cats in the Cradle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
We're glad we did that song too.
Yes, that was perfect. It brings up a lot of memories or feelings. What I had mentioned about for my daughter situation, my ex-husband kind of, it hit the feelings. It hit the feelings. And but I do love how you guys did it. It was perfect. You're welcome. So let's see. What do I want to ask you? So who was your first concert that you went to see?
Sammy Hagar, believe it or not.
Sammy Hagar was your first?
Before he was in Van Halen, just him
Oh,
as a solo
okay.
artist. Yeah,
When he was
after
solo.
Montrose, before Van Halen. That was the first concert.
That's cool. My first concert was Alice Cooper. I
Oh,
was
nice, nice.
I was basically a country girl. I grew up country until Alice Cooper hit. And that's it.
No, we toured. We've actually done a lot of shows with Alice Cooper over the years here and there. And
sweet.
really
I'd love
cool
to
guy,
see him
really
again.
nice guy.
Yeah.
Really nice. And puts on I mean, I don't even know. He must be, is he in his 70s? He's still playing like a 2-hour set, singing beautifully, still like all the props I mean, he's just as into it as he was probably in his 20s. I mean, obviously he's been sober for a long time, you know, he's a healthy guy, and he's got his shit together, and he's just, that's his drug, you know. It's beautiful to see. He just puts on that show, gets into it, and he sings great, and he looks the same, you know. He's got the hair and the eye makeup,
all up the makeup. Yep. I dressed up like that for Halloween one year when I was younger. Of course, after I saw him in concert, I had the things here and the eyes there, you know. So I'm just watching
when you play with Alice Cooper, like half the crowd looks like that. People are, you know, they're into it.
They're into it.
It's like Halloween. Every show with Alice Cooper is Halloween.
Absolutely. So are we still okay with the time frame that you might have to leave to get?
I do have to leave because there is another interview right now.
Yeah, I was just watching the time, and I'm respectful of the time. And thank you so much for making this happen today. I appreciate you coming back.
Sorry we had the technical difficulties, and but we got it figured out.
We sure did. And I want to thank you so much for coming to Front Row Promotions, and you're welcome to come back anytime.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And have a good day, rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Send you love.
Bye.
Bye now.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Mm-hmm. And that was an amazing interview that we had. It was the small time frame that we had, but we did make it happen because we had some connections that was there like that before. But just wanted to say goodbye, and thank you all for coming to Front Row Promotions. Thank you for watching and support that live local music, and have a great day. And bye now.